And we're recording. It's Athletics LLC, international style for the most part.
Whoop, whoop.
International is the dominant, and it's going to just get even more internationally crazy sooner than later here. But nonetheless, welcome to another fun episode of Athletics LLC. Um, this is going to be a good one. And I'll say this before I forget. Last week's episode, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, got a lot of comments and a lot of good feedbacks. So thank you everyone, first and foremost, for doing so, and just acknowledging that they do get read and we do converse about them, not necessarily on the show because we want to keep progressing the show. So let that be known. But other than that, Governor, tell us where you are and how you're doing.
I'm currently in Jerusalem, Israel, and I'm at the European Under-20 Championships. And I'm just taking in the sights and watching the meet every day. And, you know, we have a couple of athletes that are coming in next week. So, you know, it'll be a good chance to watch them in their element and do some evaluating, and because that's what period we're in, right?
I was just going to say, great use of words, sir.
Did I
Great
do
use
that?
of
Was that a
words.
Freudian slip, or did I? Anyway,
You must have gotten 100 on your compliance.
I must have, yes. But yeah, it's been a great experience. Still have some sites to take in, but this is a pretty amazing place. So I highly recommend it. You know, for any of y'all that want to take in some history, it's crazy.
Cool. Sir Lucius, where? Well, we
Yes,
know where
ma'am.
you are. We see the rings, so we know where you are.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling in the man cave. I'm good.
Yes. You're in Jerusalem, Florida, right?
He's in the Holy Land for sure.
Yes.
Clyde, what interstate are you on? Safely at that.
I just got off of Interstate 280. I am back home in San Jose, California, fresh off of the Pan Am U20 championships. A good experience overall. Puerto Rico was interesting. I will say, if a meet returns to Puerto Rico, we should go to Ponce or
Yes.
Ponce or
Ponce.
San Juan. Ponce or San Juan. Madagascar was all right. But the meet overall was great. And you know, we were represented well by our San Jose State Spartans. So well done.
Nice. Of note, in Ponce, there's King's Cream, which is a local creamery, ice creamery, and it's phenomenal. It's in the big square that they have right there. Oh, and there's a rooftop,
So
it's literally called the rooftop.
So you're adding to the things I didn't get to see.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes.
appreciate
They
that. Yeah.
have lovely hidden beaches too. But anyways, I'll stop ruining your day. No kits for Worlds. How are you and where are you?
I'm good. I am in Marburg, Germany. Speaking of history, lots of it here. I think I've been in at least 15 buildings older than the entire United States. It's been cool.
The time zones that we cover as well are very interesting. So, yeah.
Four different time zones?
Yeah.
4 different time
1,
zones.
2, 3,
Crazy.
4. Yep. So anyhow, let's get this party started. Most notably, and I don't know about you all, but I got several texts about when the rule changes came out for World Athletics, and literally no other words, just pictures of the little diagrams that they put out. And I'm like, yes, I know. We're talking about it, I promise. So we have to start off with that first before people actually come, at least from my head, if not your all's head as well. But there have been some rule changes set forth by World Athletics, and it seems as if overwhelmingly people agree with what's going on. but what say you all and so forth about these changes?
I like them. I love them. I'm disappointed it took them so long to figure it out. I think that too often we've not given the proper, I don't know, credit to those who do their jobs in the semifinals of races. You run your way into, heck, happened to my guy last year. He's second fastest time, heat winner, and he's down in lane 3 because they got this random draw for the 3s involved. I'm not any world where lane 3 is better than lane 8 to 200. People will disagree with me, but you're wrong, so that's okay.
Is there? Go ahead.
That's all I got.
I find probably the less talked about rule more interesting. The lanes, I mean, we discussed this a little bit during the week. The science kind of proves it all out that the lane mismanagement was obvious from before, and now they finally have fixed it. But I think every single one of us has wondered aloud, when so-and-so doesn't show up for the final, why don't they just move somebody else into it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we've probably wondered that for 30 plus years. So I think finally somebody decided, yeah, there's no real reason not to do that. And at the end of the day, if the person who was 10th in qualifying but manages to get in the final puts together a race that is championship worthy and wins, like, so be it. I mean, still
the only thing that I'm
on the
not
day.
sure that I agree with in here is the whole thing of not reseating. They're just going to plug the person into the lane. That's a little odd.
Yeah.
That's a little odd.
Because
Can
you imagine? And the 200 that's a big deal. Like,
oh yeah,
that could be a massive issue.
So that's it seems to me that every time World Athletics steps out with some new rule changes, they're usually pretty stupid and everybody's pissed off. This one is 98% bravo.
Yep.
The only thing that's wrong is that distinction right there.
Yep.
Because you're not going to tell me that whoever person X pulls out of the 200-meter final from lane 6 and you take the number 9 person and stick him in lane 6. Nah, I got a big problem with that. But listen, when it's 98% right, you just got to kind of roll with it. You just got to, whoever's in lane 1, they can be really pissed off, and they should be. Right. But hey, it's significantly better. It is backed by the science. And anytime you do something that is backed by the science, I love it. I am not going to interject this point here because it wasn't my point, but it was something that I found awesome. No kits for worlds. You, through our discussion offline, you enlightened me about a thing that exists in this lane realm. If I didn't know, there has to be other people that didn't know. Could you please tell us about that? I thought it was
which thing are you speaking?
The world records. The world records.
Oh, geez. Well, as I think that the rest of the people who watch our show would actually love some of the things, like how we get to bring you guys the show. And many times there is conversation, consternation, hand-wringing, shouting, full-on verbal banter before we ever get to the show. Listen, I'm vamping so I can find the thing. Leave me alone.
Just tell them what it is and let's move on, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he wanted me to read it. No,
he doesn't want you to read anything.
Well, that's what I thought he wanted me to read. Okay, no. Yeah, there are actually world records, just like there's world records for place, for every race and every event. There are actually world records for lanes. It is Googleable. You can find it, and the science on it is almost 100% backed. like the science on the move is almost 100% backed. You have a couple freaks of nature like Michael Johnson, who ran 1932 from lane 3, right?
Mhm.
Which it's like Wallace Spearman's 20-0 from lane 2 indoors,
No,
right?
lane,
Was
lane
lane 3? I can't
not
remember. I
lane
knew it was
two.
one of them damn lanes that nobody runs in, right? But
Lane
like,
two, that would have
we
been,
don't
man, that'd have been monster.
we don't
I'm pretty
use
sure it was lane 3 at Arkansas.
Yeah,
we don't use those runs, you know what I mean, like as part of the science, because that's one out of body experience, freak of nature by in this case 2 different humans, but everything else completely tracks that, you know, it should be 5, 6, 7 as the seeded lanes and so on. So I thought that was interesting, and like, you know, when the challenge was thrown out in the conversation, I just Googled it, found it, and was like, all right, I'll shut up. Because for the record, I said, so everybody can hear, I said I would rather have lane 4 than lane 7.
Wrong.
And I,
you
see,
said
we
you
didn't have
gotta
to go
have,
there.
yeah. No, but you're wrong,
I
but it's fine.
I said that. I just said I was wrong. See, this is how you know I'm not wrong that often. They get so excited when I am.
Oh, are you kidding yourself right now?
Wow.
Hiya! Hiya!
So we must
So-
get excited like 10 times a day.
So
Yeah,
let's revisit this, because I actually pulled it up. And
Fancy, thanks.
To
Around the
all
block
of
we go
our-
again.
To all of our chagrin, the policy will apply to finals and semifinals in all disciplines, including field events and relays. There will be no redraw of lanes or reordering of attempts.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is my
And
point.
that-
That's one thing they got wrong in my opinion.
Oh, it's definitely wrong, but we got it.
World athletics is never gonna give us the exact sandwich.
The
we want.
98% rule, right, Clyde?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So here's the question in hand. Will the NCAA adopt this like they did
Ooh.
so many other rules?
With points on the line, with championships on the line. Oh wow.
So
I-
like this year, Elijah Godwin can't go to the line in the 400.
Yeah. Yep.
10th guy, if they adopt the rule, moves up.
Now that will be very interesting.
One,
That
they
would be
absolutely should.
very interesting.
They absolutely should. 2, it will cause more drama
Oh
in
yeah.
the NCAA than it will at the world
Yeah.
stage, because you talking about people's contracts, people's
And points.
bonuses, all kind of mess on the line there. But they absolutely
I'm gonna say this. I'll be willing to bet all of you that they will not adopt this.
I say they will not.
It's
Oh,
for the
I
same
I
reason.
mean, I don't think they will either. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
It's
None of us
for the
think
same
that.
reason. It's for the same reason why when you have ineligibilities, they vacate titles as opposed to transfer them. They ain't going back and doing nothing. We
Well, see,
ain't
but here's the
revising
thing.
nothing.
But see, that's a kind of a good argument with this, but it's not, because they don't have to go back and do anything.
Right.
Right.
You
Okay.
just
Okay.
hit 'em back.
Elijah Godwin. Okay. Carol calls Jeff Malinsky and says Elijah's not going to run tomorrow. He's scratchy. Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Or she calls that day, because like they said, this could happen up to the time the gun goes off.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So if the 10th person just happens to be smart enough to know that, hey, this guy might not be able to go, hey, we're ready. So it's just a
If
matter of,
if you
pushing
stay
a
ready,
button.
you ain't got to get ready. If I'm number
Exactly,
10,
yeah, but-
I'm ready.
but I doubt it's ever going to happen. It's just,
No, they won't do
it's-
it.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
So
But they should.
how about this? The Q room. So does
Hey,
this
the Q room thing is actually pretty cool. I
it's
like the
pretty
Q room.
cool. So the folks that are waiting to find out if they got in or not, they're setting up a room specifically for them. Okay. And for all sprints, hurdles, and 800-meter events, a room will be set up where non-automatic qualifiers can wait to see if they have advanced. The room will have comfortable chairs on which to relax, TV screens, foam rollers, stretch bands, refreshments. These
Okay,
folks.
so to think about this, last year, World Championship,
Uh-huh.
parchment goes down.
Yep.
You call it a Q room, you walk out and you run the race.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep. And listen, let's
Because
be
that
clear.
happened before the race. Yeah.
All the Q room is for that. All that sounds very, very nice. In that list of description, the one thing they left out that's going to be in the Q room is a camera.
Camera, for sure.
So they can watch you go through it. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't sell it that way. So
Listen,
Yeah.
drama
that's what it's for.
sells. Drama sells. And that will be dramatic. And because you know what else they're going to get? They're going to get the disappointment
Mhm.
when nobody does pull out. Right? They're going to get that on camera too.
Yeah.
Yes, no, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Here's what will become interesting is how many people will actually show up. You know, if you're the next 2 or 3 people, I'm not sure how many people they will allow to go into the queue.
Yeah.
How many of those 2 or 3 people will actually warm up and then go into the room in hopes that they might get a chance to run?
How many will stay in it?
Exactly,
Mentally?
right.
I will almost guarantee you, if you're in semifinal 1 of 3, I will almost guarantee you they're going to make you sit in there.
No. See, no.
Stick around.
That has not, no. If you're in semifinal 1 of 3, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be in the queue room. The queue room is if you're going to possibly be put into a race.
No.
Isn't that what it's for?
No. So
Isn't that what it's for?
semifinal 1, you get 2 automatic qualifiers in the 100, and then numbers 3 and 4 are going to sit in the
Okay.
queue room.
Yeah.
And then the next heat's going to go, and they're going to realize, oh shit, I'm in or I'm out, and they're going to be sent
Well, I'm
out.
not
And then
going
the
in the
next
queue
people are going
room.
into the
That's
queue room.
say I'm not.
That's what it is.
Nobody's
No.
going in that room.
That's what it is.
So I thought you were talking about people that were warming up in hopes they won't get to
Nah.
run later.
Nah.
So
It's
this queue room
it's the baby
is okay.
queue room.
So I'm waiting to see. No chance I'm going in that room.
It's the little
Right.
queue room.
It's
It's the
baby
little
What?
queue room.
And I'm
No,
telling
I'm
you,
good.
you're going
No.
because they're going to take
No,
you
I'm
right
not.
off the track and put your
Okay,
ass in that room.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I have legs and I have a mouth and I'm walking. Because I can promise
what it's
you,
for,
none of
though.
mine are
It's the
going in the
baby
little
queue
queue
room.
room.
It's the baby queue room.
I misunderstood you. So I'm sorry
Oh,
for misunderstanding. And now that is a dumb idea. That's what
I just want to know. I want to know when World Athletics is going to rescind all of these changes they've made to the field events that have completely foobarred the field events forever.
Oh my gosh.
Here
They're
They
you
need
go
to
with
take
the
them all
field
away.
event rant
Every
again.
single
They're
one
not.
of
They
those
think
have been
they're
bad
awesome.
ideas.
They think
All
they're
of
awesome.
them.
So how about this one?
So you got to do a better job of explaining yourself, Governor, because that one flew out of my mind. I was out on Planet Mars with you on that one. I apologize.
So how about this running on the protest issue? Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
So athletes
I
have
love it.
previously been allowed to run under protest if a start referee had doubts over the validity of a false start charge, but not if the false start was indicated by a World Athletics Certified Start Information System. When the reaction time is close to the allowed limit, 0.100, any movement may hardly be visible. Now, in cases such as these, if the start referee feels the start in question requires further study, the referee may allow the athlete to run on the protest.
Here's
We
what's
will
genius
forever
about it.
call this the Devin Allen rule.
It's the Devin Allen
Yep.
rule, but here's the genius of that, and I hope I don't know how many officials watch our show. I hope all officials understand what they have given you in this moment. They've given you an excuse not to be an ass. Just say, okay, let them go run, because we all know you're going to disqualify them after the fact anyway. If you stand there with the option to let them run and you send Devin Allen out anyway, oh, you're going to be a meat. So just let him run. Just let him run. You're going to disqualify him anyway. Just let him run.
Interesting.
For the record, I feel pretty confident that Devin Allen is eventually going to win a lawsuit against Omega Timing on this.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel very confident in that, and that's part of the reason that the Devin Allen rule has now been put in.
Yep.
So is there a lawsuit?
Oh yeah, it's in litigation. Well, mitigation followed by litigation, but yes, 100%.
So this last rule is for you, No Kid for Worlds. Previously, throwers have not been able to use their own throwing implements if the same models are on the list of those provided by the organizers. That restriction has now been lifted. The limit of 2 implements per athlete remains.
So I don't know if everybody else gets that. You got to be a field event person, and particularly somebody who's been in the pros to
Exactly.
get that.
Wait,
Yep.
wait, can I take a stab at it? 'Cause
Yes.
I'm confused. So at this level, you're telling me I cannot bring my own shot put to be
Yep.
thrown if the meet has the same model there?
That is correct. So like, let's
That is
suppose you
correct.
throw a Nishi that's 129 millimeters, right?
Yeah.
That is on a World Athletics certified list.
Standard.
At every single warm-up track, there will be a Nishi 129 millimeter. And at
Yep.
the meet, there will be a Nishi 129 millimeter, which therefore eliminates any need for weights and measures.
Yep.
But
Right.
now I
But
can
it-
bring my own thing.
But this has always been the issue. All of the implements in question are new. If you've
Right.
ever bought an implements, they're all heavy.
Yes.
All of them. You buy a brand new 2K disc, it weighs more than 2K. Not a ton more, but it weighs more,
Interesting.
right? You buy a 16-pound shot, it weighs more than 16 pounds.
So now I can bring in my own one,
Now you can bring in your own one.
which means people got to go back to work and weigh some shit.
Yeah, which also means this is another one of those deals. See, reading will still be fundamental, right? There will be times listed in the manual when
Right.
weights and measures are open and when you
Yes.
can turn these things in.
Yep.
So when you show up late with said shot put, they're like,
Rightfully so.
right?
I'm
And
not
you know
mad
they'll
at this
be
one
dr-
either. I'm not
No,
mad at this one either.
This is one of those, like, I'm not sure why this was ever a rule in the first place, but sure, this should have been done a long time ago too. Because the issue was always trying to figure out whether the implement you were throwing was on the list.
Mhm.
And if it wasn't, then you had to get your federation to get it put on the list.
There you go.
It's always
See,
been a thing.
98%. 98%. We're good.
But
So-
I still say I need them to rescind all of this nonsense they've done to the field events in the Diamond League meets, because why do I want to go to do a Diamond League meets all year under this particular format? Then we go to World Championships, and it's literally not even a distant cousin of what we've been doing all year.
Right.
I mean, there is that.
I mean, not even close.
There is that.
But anyway, whatever. It's 98% rule. I'm sure that fits within 2%. Let's go.
So, Sir Lucius, this one might be for you. Qualification and next round in middle distance events. Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
For middle distance events longer than 800, in which athletes qualify by time after the automatic qualifiers, there has been widespread feedback on the significant disadvantage to athletes in the first heat compared to the athletes in the following heats due to their knowledge of what time is needed to qualify.
Right.
From Budapest onwards, qualifying from rounds of the 15, 3K, steeple, and 5K will be based purely on positions, not time.
Oh, we talked about this. We talked about this rule
As it
because
should
they eliminated the small queue in all the middle distance.
Yes. No more baby.
No
cues.
no more baby queues. And this is
So-
another one that's like, boy, did that make sense a long time ago.
So basically, they're going to take 12 people. They're going to take the top 6 from each heat.
Period.
Yes.
And that's still going to become flawed because if they mess around and jog in the first heat, and now the semifinals are jumbled. So, yeah. But no, that is much better than what they were doing. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's an improvement.
It's an
I was gonna say this. At least this is fair. People
Mhm.
will still mess it up, but the qualifying procedure is fair. The other one was holistically unfair because you had a massive, massive advantage being in the third heat.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
The only one that for me was missing from this is we're still playing trophy culture with the sprints and hurdles. I don't need 3 semis. Send me back to 16 in the final, 2 heats, 4 and 4. I don't want any baby Qs in the sprints either. But hey,
I said it a long time ago. Three semis belongs in hell.
Oh, man. It's horrible.
Wow. That was rough.
It's literally one of the worst things we've ever done in our sport. 3 semis is one of the worst things ever been done.
I can
And the only
only
reason- the only reason for it is to
So
let
you
more
have to
people keep
go
racing.
back and you have to find out what caused that. And I don't know, but more than likely somebody very good screwed around, didn't make the top 16. They were 17th, and so they
Yep.
did something to protect them. You know,
Yeah.
like
Oh, no.
we all know, just like you just said, this new rule is the Devin Allen rule. The
Mhm.
4x1 exchange zone. That's the Mike Rogers, Justin Gatlin rule.
Justin
right?
Gatlin.
Exactly. You know, so it happens.
This
I'm
is
trying
one
to
of those.
imagine.
Just
I'm trying to imagine that conversation when someone picked up the phone and said, "How can you how can you kick us out of the race when we handed it off early?" Like,
Yeah.
there was no advantage to that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right.
The person on the other end of that call should have said, "How are you stupid enough to hand it off that early?" And hung up.
well, the issue
Why'd you
is
take
the
it?
reason we ended up with 3 semis is because they went from 4 rounds to 3,
The 3, yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And you know, and I'm like, okay, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. If we're gonna go to 32 people and we're gonna go to 3 rounds, that just means you got to run faster in the first round.
Yeah.
Like
That's right.
that's it.
Which,
Right?
which
Like you
in
get-
theory,
and-
starts
and
on
trust
16.
me, if
16
you
to
make
8.
it 16, they will run faster.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
Let's race anyway.
They will run faster.
So run faster.
Exactly.
In the first round.
Let's just go 32 to 16, 16 to 8. Bob's your uncle. This is not
And
rocket science.
probably no one can speak to this more than Sir Lucius, but I'd love for you to explain for the folks that have no idea what 4 rounds were like.
Oh my
Oh.
God. No. Absolutely. I mean, so
Oh.
like you get up early in the morning,
Yep,
like 6 o'clock. The round starts at 9,
yep.
Mhm.
If
right?
you're lucky,
And
10.
you go out
You're
there
lucky.
and if you're lucky, right?
Yes.
You go out there and you run 10:28 for
Yep.
no
Yep.
reason.
For no reason.
For no reason. Just so you can get rid of 8 guys that
Yep.
probably,
Shouldn't be there in the first place.
shouldn't be in the first place. It was horrible.
Hey,
You know, and let me tell you, the worst one was coaching Dennis, because Dennis is not a morning person at all, right? And so getting that joker up at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the morning was not easy.
Oh, God.
And he wanted nothing to do with it. And you know, he might be one of the reasons why they went to 3 rounds, because I'm sure he told him, right? So
Yeah.
let me just say, I was not involved in the sport of the days of the 4 rounds. However, at U20s in Puerto Rico, the
Mhm.
semifinals for the 200 went off at 8, 9 in the morning.
Mhm.
That wasn't cute at all. And on
That
the
is
same
well
day,
done.
honestly. So
go back to the days of 3 rounds at the championship site, right?
Yep.
For the NCAA, Sacramento,
We.
where we're
Oh.
running the 200 early in the morning, or the 100 early in the morning.
Yep.
That was like back in like say 2004, maybe.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
indeed.
basketball. We still had 4 regions at the time too. So
Yeah.
So I mean, I think a lot of those changes are very good for the sport. Maybe they'll spawn some other things to change as well, and I think that it'll be interesting. The Q room is, now that I understand it fully, horrible idea.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Horrible idea.
It's all
Horrible
for
It's awesome.
drama.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's why they're making it so
It's
plush.
it's reality
With the
TV.
TV.
Yes, it's a reality TV moment.
You know, you can go roll out and hang out for 20 minutes. You know, you can just take
Right.
a look at this.
See?
'Cause-
Hence why there's no mention of the camera that absolutely is going to be
Oh,
in
it
that
is
room.
going to be in the room. Yes,
It might be the hidden camera. You might get the infrared shot of somebody
Yes.
throwing a couch
See,
pillow.
and see, my thing is this is like, I want to be, the camera should be outside of the room for the person that knows that they're not going to make it. They're trying to force it to the room. That's the one I want to see. Or the person that runs a bad race and is like, I don't want to go in there. That's what I want to see.
Oh, I'm sure there's cameras on both ends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because trust me, there's going to be a coach that's like, I don't want my athlete in there. Trust me, there's
I was just going to say that. And my question is, in the verbiage, is there a mandate that they have to go to the room?
no.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
so
just,
you're not.
because how many coaches, Sir Lucius, no, you are not going to go in there, come out, get your cool down done, move on.
Exactly.
I'll
We
let
got
you
work
know.
to do.
Listen,
Exactly.
listen, and Sir Lucius, aka the Godfather, aka Michael Holloway, will absolutely say that to his people, and they usually listen to him, so that's okay. But somebody is going to get flustered in the moment. Shit, I'm the baby Q. I don't know if I'm in or out, and these people who I barely understand what they're saying are telling me I have to go in this room, and they're gonna go.
Yeah.
They're gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
And
Oh.
you're definitely right
That-
about that. Somebody
that reality TV piece is gonna happen. You best believe that. You're welcome, people. We just made your life better. Now now you know about this. Now you know to look for this.
Wow.
Baby Q room, baby.
That's right. They should
What's
literally
next,
put a
Q?
baby Q above the door.
Well,
What's
so
next, big league?
they're going to make shirts and pillows and
Oh,
hashtags.
Okay, all
That's
right.
what it's
all
going
right.
to be. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, so in regards to World Championships, which is just around the corner, teams are being listed. I just saw someone else being put on the list. But there are a couple countries in mention who have received invitations, and there's a lot to
Okay.
be said beyond that. So I'm going to then loft it up for the governor to catch and break it down, because we know he can do that.
So we're talking juxtaposition here. We're talking about two federations that have taken two different approaches to the qualification system that has been set up. So let's start with the fact that the entry standards for the World Championships are extremely high. Okay,
Yes.
across the board. So the folks that are actually challenging, that have the ability to win medals, those are the ones that are making these qualifying times. Let's just take the 100 being 10 flat. That's a world-class time, okay? So
It's not fast, but it's world class.
yes.
Knew that was coming.
So in the
I'm
super
sorry, I'm
shoe,
sorry.
in the super shoe world, okay. Anyway, so you have a situation where if World Athletics does not have, is it 28?
32. Call it 30.
32.
32. Then they will then invite athletes to come. But here's the deal. It's still on the federation to say, all right, you can go. So said
Because
athlete
the invite, so people understand, the invites are sent to the federation.
to the federation, right?
Like Bob Williams is not invited.
Mm-hmm.
And for our novice fans, this is a complicated distinction. We'll just use the 100 meters.
Yeah.
There are not 32 human beings on planet Earth who have hit the qualifying standard.
Nor will they ever will
And
be.
that is by design. World
Yes.
Athletics wants their world rankings to matter, and they
Mhm.
fill the gap to number 32 based on their world ranking position.
Exactly.
So Federation X, Kareem Street Thompson is invited because he is world ranked number 17.
Right.
And
Right.
go, sir.
So
There is one more distinction to that. Also, with the rules and parameters of no more than 3 per country,
Correct.
right? Plus
Mhm.
plus one of the wild cards. Even though there's like 4 different kinds of wild cards, you can only use one, right?
Correct.
We'll call that the USA rule,
Mhm.
right? Because if they just went on world rankings, the US would have like 11 guys in the 100,
Right.
Yeah.
right? No,
Yeah.
it's real talk.
No,
Right?
that's
and
true.
probably,
I know,
and probably
but-
more in the hurdles and more women in the hurdles for sure, right? So if you ever look at the world rankings, right, it kind of tells you what you're looking at. After the fourth person or third person that's qualified in any country, everybody after that it's got a different letter, but basically they're eliminated. Right. So when you're counting the list, you like take them out.
But get to the point for the governor.
So now what we're seeing is that there are different approaches being taken to the selection process. The UK is, for all intents and purposes, getting pummeled for their decision to not allow those athletes that did not make the standard to go to the World Championships. They drew the line. The flip side is the French team has allowed 19 athletes that did not make the standard to go to the World Championships. So the question is there a federation that's right? Is there a federation that's wrong? Have at it.
I will say this. I am totally 100% okay with the idea that every federation should govern itself the way that they see fit. I don't want to live in a world where Team USA has to be selected in the same way that Team Jamaica or Team UK is selected. I don't want that. I like our way. I think we have the best way, and that's me.
It's the most brutal way.
It's absolutely the most brutal. And that's why I like it. So I will say that I don't have a problem with what the UK has done or is doing, and I don't have a problem with what the French are doing, as long as it was understood in advance, which I understand that it was. Having said that, I don't know why we have these world rankings if you're going to ultimately reject the invitation for your athletes.
Makes no sense.
I don't understand.
Zero sense.
And I don't get that. And in this very cutthroat sport where the athletes are, by comparison to their professional sport counterparts, broke. Okay, no one's handing anybody 75 million a year for track and field, right? The opportunity to race at the World Championships can make or break careers. It is our Super Bowl. So as a former athlete, if I have qualified for the Super Bowl by the Super Bowl standards, and a suit in a building tells me I can't go, I'm going to have a problem with that personally. So I would prefer the French way, me. But I'm not mad at the UK. I just don't actually understand why.
Well, I think that's the issue here, is understanding why. Nobody knows exactly why. But I mean, I have happened to be in around some of the British coaches over the years and officials over the years, and the folks from the UK aren't, and this is a bad word to use, but they're not ones to promote mediocrity, right? And so in their minds, these are not people they think are going to go there and challenge for medals. They're not people they think are going to go there and be a factor. Because knowing the UK folks, as some of us do, if they thought so, they would send them. Right. So this may be and don't make me a meme and don't make the British people all come at me. And I've got some friends over there. I don't want them to attack me, but I just get the sense that this is just them going, why are we sending them there if they can't meet this standard? And if they can't meet the standard, how are they going to make the final? Right. Now, that is a bit of an elitist attitude. I agree. But I also, they have their reasoning. And if they were leaving somebody back that was challenging for a medal or challenging for a final, then I think we'd all know who that person was, but I don't think they're doing that. They're going to send what they perceive to be their best team. Right? People, it's just like, go ahead. It's just like people that don't send everybody to the NCAA preliminary league. That happens every year as well. Right? And those people have qualified. But we see people get left behind all the time because these people are telling these athletes, we don't think you're ready. We don't think you can do anything, so we'll leave you alone. So no kid.
I think one of the reasons that this became such a hot button topic is because the athlete in particular that drew the greatest umbrage about all of this is a 20-year-old female that
Mhm.
is 2/100ths of a second
Yep.
from the standard in the 400.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think most people think that that is an egregious leave off because she's 20 and the experience is invaluable in the quest, as you put it, because I agree with you why they're doing it. But I think this is a mistake because we all know getting the world championships the first time is the goal, right? Yes, there are some people the first time they go to world championships, we're competing for medals. I get that. But in most cases, I'll say most cases,
Yeah, I was getting ready to
you
say, I
gotta-
don't know this person. I'm just trying to get there. I don't know who that.
I didn't say just trying to get there, but what I'm saying is most people need to get to world championships to go through the experience so you know what you don't know. And for this young person to be within 0.5% of the standard at age 20 and be left off is, I think most people think isn't egregious. The problem is you can't take her and not take everybody that fits the criteria.
Mhm.
That's the issue,
Bingo. There you go.
There you
right?
go.
Right?
Can't make
Like
it. You
I'm
can't.
sure,
You
right?
can't set a
make
rule
it
and then
fair.
make an exception to it. Exactly.
Right.
There's no
And
way.
and I think that's the issue, right? Is because
Right.
unfortunately for the UK, the line they drew in the sand, there was somebody really close to the damn line who was 20.
Well, see,
See,
here's my thing.
if she's
So-
26,
so-
then nobody says a word.
So I'm gonna say this before one of y'all said the first world problem here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Right. If that's who you are, then that's who you are. And then everybody's allowed to take pot shots and have their opinion. You're entitled to it. But at the end of the day, UK athletics has never been afraid to make a stance on anything, right? And they're not afraid now. And so my thing is that I want to sit back and watch the results and see how they do, right? Because clearly, in my opinion anyway, they've done a pretty good job over the years of managing their situation, managing their team, being successful in the events they should be successful in. So then maybe some people should be taking a look at this model and going, maybe they're up to something. Because let's remember, it wasn't too long ago that this wasn't an issue because either you made the standard or you didn't go.
Mhm.
Right? Have we forgotten those days?
Well,
Yeah.
to that point, I'll say you're absolutely right. But the standards used to be a little bit softer. But let me say this.
But just I will say this before you start. The playing field was softer. The standards only got tougher because everybody got better.
Fair enough. That's fair. And I don't. I try my best not to ever, on purpose, take a hypocritical stance on any issues that we do. Right. I want to bring this. No, I'm serious about that. I want to bring this down a level from world-class athletics to the level that I typically spend my time playing, which is collegiate. I like the NCAA first round analogy, but I think I have a better one. Conference championships. In my conference, we are allowed to take 28 athletes per gender to the meet.
Mhm.
Now, just because we're allowed to, it is very, very clear on my team that I don't care.
Right.
I'm not taking 28 just to say I got 28. And on my roster, it is very, very clear. 2 weeks or a week before conference, when all of our meets are done, if you're 1 through 10, you're going.
Yeah.
If you're 10 through 15, you're probably going. If you're 15 to 20, you're probably not going unless you're in the relay mix. And if you're outside the top 20, you're not going.
Right.
Why? Because I don't want to spend resources to promote mediocrity. I don't want to give free plane tickets to just go kick it and get bounced out the first round. If that is the reason, that UK athletics is doing that, if that's their mentality, I ain't mad at it. Like, I would agree.
Right. Okay. So
I
that's exactly what their mentality is.
No, but I haven't seen any. So here's the thing, though. And I don't remember who it was, but there was a spokesperson that did an interview when the fire was going that said it was not a financial decision. It was not for that. And that's why
I don't think it's financial at all.
Nope.
Right.
So here's my thing.
For me, it's financial, and And
See,
to the point,
for you, it's
principle.
financial, right? Okay.
Well, financial
So,
slash principle. If it's
okay,
just
so for
principle, I'm with it.
me, it's the same. Okay, it's the same thing here in Gainesville, right? And clearly, let me say it again: first world problem, money's not the issue in Gainesville. So let me say that before one of y'all do. But it's like, if you're going to be, we get 27. If you're going to the meet, it needs to be somebody that's going to add to what we're trying to do, right?
Right.
It's not even so much necessarily about, being able to score. I have a young man in an event. He's an event leader.
Mhm.
No chance I think he's scoring, but he makes everybody around him better. When he's not around, they get kind of lost. So guess what? That dude's going, right?
Right.
And when it comes to UK athletics, again, I want to remind everybody that there was not too long ago when the standard was the standard, and if you didn't get to go.
Right.
Okay. And then if you were a country, you could bring one, right? Remember that rule?
Mm-hmm.
So all the UK has done is said, we're just operating under the old rule. If you don't make the standard, you don't go. Because in a lot of ways, we are kind of
It's cleaner.
It's cleaner, and we're not also by let everybody go chase these ranking points. You're not really, in my opinion, making people work harder to run faster, jump higher, throw farther, and all that stuff. You're teaching them to chase points versus chase performance. That's it. I know, first world problem. Go ahead, Al.
I just think most people find it ironic that the country that came up with the world ranking standards is not using them.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
absolutely-
I think.
But hold on a second. But was it the country that came up with it, or somebody from the country that came up with it?
Sure, call it what it is.
You in the chair, you in the chair.
represent. You're in the
Because
chair.
obviously we're talking about Seb, right? So if we're talking about Seb, how many other Brits were in the room with him when he made this decision? Probably none. Probably not one.
But that means the room was still all British.
So
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I just think it's ironic, and I think most people will find it ironic too, right? That the British guy came up with the standards, I mean, with the raising of the standards to make the world rankings have teeth, and then his country doesn't even administer to the world rankings.
Exactly, because his country is probably doing what most people should, and say we need to see what makes the sport better. Working towards the standard or working towards the rankings? What makes the sport more competitive?
Well, we all hate the rankings.
No, but working towards the standard, right?
Sure. Of course.
Right. So if we have more people trying to achieve the standard, then the sport will get better. But what we've done is you've given them a back door to get to the meet. Okay. See, and the governor sat in on this team meeting, and I'm going to be a lot more calm than I was at this meeting, right? Okay. Well, we talked about this, and this was a big turning point in our program, right? We're not here to just get to the NCAA meet so we can go to the after party.
Right.
Because that's all everybody wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I want people to want to get to the meet so we can go there to win, right? That's the party I want y'all participating, right? And that's the problem. See, what we've done is given people an avenue to get to the world championships so they can go watch the party, not to be a part of it.
So here's what's very interesting, and I didn't realize this, but Seb Coe went on record and defended UK athletics.
Oh, of course he did.
There you go.
And his statement was, the world championships, and it's been my instinct for a long time, should be the best of the best. The Olympic Games, you can have universality, you've got that freedom. But in the World Championships, which I'm responsible for, I want to make sure when people tune in or are sitting in the stadium, they go knowing they're going to see the best of the best. So the size of the federation's teams, I'm not that focused on. For me, it's the quality of the athletes that they take, and UK Athletics will be taking a very competitive team to Budapest, regardless of the size. The sovereignty of selection has to reside with the member federation. I'm never going to criticize a member federation for the policy they take.
And you know what? That's a great, and you better say that statement from the man. Here's the irony in that. By definition, because again, these rankings exist, right? So by the definition of the rankings, whatever rank Lena Nielsen is, I don't know what it is. Let's say she's 20. If UK Athletics rejects the invitation from the number 20, then that means a worse person is going to be there.
Right.
So
Yeah, but they're not from the UK.
no, I get that,
Uh-huh.
but
They're
he's
not from
speaking,
the UK though.
right. So he's doing it's a brilliant statement. He's doing a very fine juggling line right there, right?
Mhm.
He is saying
Mhm.
everything you're supposed to say and probably means sovereignty of the selection, blah, blah, blah. UK is bringing the best of the best. Cool. But he also said the meat is supposed to be the best of the best. And the meat got worse because Lena Nielsen is better than someone who's going to replace her. That's inescapable. So it's a very good statement. I like it.
But the making of the standard itself. I mean, the pathway of the rankings is what's made the meat worse.
You can argue.
That's what made the meat worse.
You can absolutely argue.
There is an argument. I mean, because look, it hasn't made the meat worse on the top end because the top end is always going to be the top end.
Exactly.
We have had this discussion about the whole prelim versus time qualifying for outdoor NCAA championships. Right?
Yes.
See, everybody argues that the meat's set up for the mediocre, and it's really not. It's set up because we want more involvement in the sport. We know that. So at the end of the day, like, it doesn't make the NCAA meet worse because we have to go to these prelim. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You got to race.
So it's not gonna make the world championships worse at the top end. It's just that you're gonna have lesser talented people on the bottom end to get the experience of the world championships is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I just would love to see. I would love to see Sir Seb just do what he did with the combined events and just cut it to 24 all the way across the board. See, a lot of people don't know that, right? All the other events have 32. There's only 24 combined events. And trust me, the difference between 24th and 32nd in the combined events is probably as close as it is in the 100.
Yeah.
Like we're not talking about a lot of point difference.
Maybe closer.
Maybe closer, right?
Yeah.
So if we can make a line of distinction and say, because people have been asked and answers have been given, going to 32, basically it would add too much time to the meet. I'm sorry, that's one heat of the 100, one heat of the 400, and one heat of the hurdles. That is what it adds. Let's be clear, right? Because you got to do two pits and everything and all the field events anyway.
Right.
So if we can make these lines of distinction and make these tough choices to cut to 24 in the combined events, 25 through 32 ain't changing. We've discussed this a billion times. The top 2,400 meter people and the top 24 milers is what we should be talking about, not 25 through 32 anyway.
It would be very rare to have that situation where that person comes in. And I'm guessing that we're going to see the data at some point as to those folks that came in ranked less than 24 that actually did some damage. Like how many of those kids are actually trending upwards and you just happen to hit it at the right time. I mean, but that's going to be a rarity. I mean, when you're talking about the folks that are at the top of their game, you're not beating them. You're just not.
I mean, the semifinal rooms are very difficult to break into. And those are the top 16, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, 17 to 24 is the curtains anyway. They're out here anyway.
In
right?
the queue room.
23.
Right. So 25 through 32 and all the events, it's like, what did you call it earlier, Clyde? Participation and trophy culture.
Trophy culture.
It just if it's good for the goose, it needs to be good for all of the gander. That's all I've ever said.
Listen, I don't want to drag this out too much further, but when you understand, if you become a world rankings nerd and you understand that making the semifinals at Worlds in the Olympics brings a massive bonus to your world rankings later, you understand what this game is.
Yep.
It's all to feed that system. We're taking 32 and this many of y'all ain't gonna get no help with your rankings. No. And that's people's money, that's people's contracts, that's blah, 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 blah. It's all
See,
the big.
and there was a time when, back in the day, when this rankings would have helped the U.S., especially in some of the maybe the women's jumps, women's
Mhm.
throws. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
that we don't have that issue anymore. So it's
Nope.
not something
That's a
that
fact.
really, that's really a big deal for the U.S. anymore. But it's going to affect a lot of other countries, and it does affect a lot of other countries. And I think that, for me anyway, I just feel like UK has a right to do whatever they want. It's their
Absolutely.
team. They can afford a kit for their team. They can put as many people in they want in their kit, so they're good.
We're gonna get to that.
Oh, goodness gracious. All
True.
right. Well, as if we weren't
I
already
couldn't help
having
myself. I
fun.
apologize.
The coaching carousel. It's a spinning. It's a
Ooh.
spinning. So wait, what day is it
Ooh.
in the States? Sorry.
It's Tuesday,
Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday, August 8th.
August 8th.
Okay. So
Yep. All
today
day.
alone, I've seen I think 4 or 5 announcements, and that just would hit my
Well,
time.
do share.
So Miami hired a person. I don't Griffin.
Oh,
Griffin?
He was
Rehire.
there before.
Rehire.
he was
Sorry.
there.
Yeah,
Okay,
rehire.
so
Returned home.
so Damon Griffiths, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
He was there as the distance coach.
Yep.
Left there, went to South Florida as the distance coach. Now he's back in Miami as a recruiting coordinator.
Yep.
Okay.
With
First
some
of all,
coaching
that-
duties, but mainly to infuse the recruiting efforts at the University of Miami. Yeah.
I just saw Marcus Brown announced he took the throws position at North Texas.
The what position?
Congrats,
Throws.
congrats, my guy.
Congrats, Marcus.
Marco the Goon. That is a great hire, and that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a
We
lot of
announced
fun.
it last week, but Van Oudegen went on Twitter and announced he was hiring.
As the assistant coach at South Plains.
Correct.
Huh?
Good
to see Jimmy back in the game.
Back in Texas.
Texas A&M made a hire that's definitely noteworthy.
Yes.
What's that guy's
And
name?
listen,
Governor? What's that guy's name, Governor?
Oh, I don't know. Paul
What's that dude's
something.
name?
Paul Herring? Yeah,
Herring,
Paul.
yeah.
Herring.
An incredible 800-meter guy, right? Who's had some incredible 800-meter athletes on top of that.
Absolutely.
And going to a school where they have to love the 800 a little bit. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and and from a personal note, got to give a shout out. I mean, you guys might have talked about it last week, but I wasn't on last week. But my guy DA is now back in Kentucky. As the assistant coach to Lonnie Green. So, obviously that absolutely warms my heart. Very excited for that situation.
We discussed it. I said that you Nick Saban that situation.
Yes,
he did. Did I?
Yes,
really?
he did.
Oh,
he did.
Wow.
And I actually would say that was very well put. It's funny that we talked real quickly about Paul Herring, considering my name, because everybody on these tiles actually knows that Paul Herring's kit did not make it to the meet at Indoor World Championships, and that guy broke the world record and won an Indoor World Championship in his University of Virginia singlet.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
He did.
True
There
story.
it is.
True story.
52-52 to run 144.
Insane.
Insane.
I mean, I know what we'll be expecting at the end of the month then. There you go.
Yeah. What else we got? Because I know
What
there's
else we
money
got?
there's money in the carousel.
So I know that Missouri has
I know
hired
South Carolina.
two extra
South
coaches.
Carolina hired a new distance coach, right?
Yeah.
Brooke,
They did.
And Sean Jackson. Wait, did we announce Sean last week? Was that official? Was
No,
that
we didn't.
announced yet? Yeah.
Sean's
So we're
Sean's now it's
at South
South Carolina as
Carolina.
well. Yep.
Go Gamecocks.
Now they've left my line. Trying to think. There was one last week that I forgot, and now I've forgotten it again.
I know there's some other movement, but I don't think it's been made official yet, so we can't really comment on it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, we'll be shouting these out for the next
Yeah.
few, for sure.
But we do know that there's still a position to be hired at Kentucky. There's still a position to be hired at
South Carolina.
South Carolina. There's 2 positions to be hired at Alabama State,
Yes,
right?
there is possibly 4 at UCLA.
Oh my goodness, what in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just saw that the distance coach wasn't retained at UCLA. I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, you know what? Something that I think is very cool that I think we missed the last week. Bianca Knight.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
That was the
Officially
one.
is
Thank
now
you.
officially an assistant coach at Queens College in
Mhm.
North Carolina. So congrats, BK.
That's on that.
That is
Yeah,
a
And
They
did
let
you
her in
guys
the
talk
door.
about Tabari Henry going back to New Mexico JC?
Oh, really?
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Tabari
Yeah.
Henry
Tabari went back to New
is
Mexico
back at
JC. Yeah.
JC.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool if you think about it. The world record team for the women, 50% of those women are now coaches in the NCAA. You know, I don't think we're ever gonna see Allison go down that route, but
Mhm.
you know, it's pretty cool.
Now, Shayla Houlihan to
That's what I
Iowa.
was just gonna say.
Where?
That's a big
Iowa.
hire for them.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's a
good
great
hire.
hire for them. Yeah.
Yep. Lot of
And there's still a lot of jobs open out there.
Yep.
I think Florida State has a job because his distance coach, I forget where she went, but she left. So Florida
Mhm.
State has a job open in the distances.
Yep. Petros just hired a distance coach, and Edric
Mhm.
just hired a distance coach.
Yeah, Edric hired Petros's
Yeah.
distance coach, so then Petros hired
And then
somebody else.
Helen took that job. Helen
Yeah.
Winners.
Did Vanderbilt announce some hires?
They did. I was just gonna say a distance coach, and then
You can see these extra staff allowances starting to fill in.
yeah.
Around,
Yes.
Pete Charles to Clemson.
Who's
Uh-huh.
Pete Charles?
I will find out. I
That's funny. He threw it out
You
there.
can't you just can't just come like give me some name. Like, what's this dude do now? Come on.
That's really funny.
It's
man.
not like saying, Kareem Street Thompson to wherever.
Right.
Like, we know who that dude is, right?
Yes. So he joins the Tiger Star from the University of Maryland.
Oh, jump Scott. No, he's a sprint Scott.
This guy.
Sprint Scott, yeah.
Charles
He was
coached-
Andrew's assistant.
And before Maryland, he was at Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, I know him. I know of him, I should say. I don't know him though.
So wait a
Yeah,
minute.
and there is some other movements going on, and there's some lower level. I'm sorry, I take that back. You can punch me in the face if you see me next time. Some other divisions and other staffs were still
Too
looking
late.
to fill. I know it
Too
came
late.
out, and I can't bring it back in. Dang, that sucks.
Too late. See,
That
I only do
sucks.
that because that's what y'all do to me. Hey,
I
you can't
know,
say
man.
that.
Man, gosh, dog.
Then the EP
Well-
will call me later, like, you really didn't know you could say that? I had no idea.
Did you see that in the
No idea.
comments about how you never knew that you couldn't say Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I had no idea. And the great thing about it was the look on you guys' faces when I said it was like, no, you can't do it. And literally the EP called me the next day and he was like, you really didn't know? I said, I had no idea that was a thing. No. And I know now.
Yeah.
I'll do better.
Oh man.
I'll do better.
Oh man. Yeah. So, I mean, keep searching, keep calling, keep updating your resumes, use your resources. But for those of you who can be happy, be where your feet are, and you don't need to always be looking. You can be
Exactly.
content and be exactly where you are and getting better where you are. So I wanted to say that just because I have had a couple conversations where people are like, well, where should I go next? Nowhere, unless you need to. Or if it's that time, you can be exactly where you are and be accelerating yourself and whatever that
I want to
means.
co-sign on that a little bit, Big League, because I don't think people understand the value of taking care of where your feet are, the value of improving the space in which you exist in now, because those are the things, in my opinion anyway, that people look at. You going someplace and making that place better, not going someplace and just existing in hopes that you can go somewhere else. You know, your ability to make your space better, to plant your feet and work hard and make that space better is always a better path to getting a better job than looking as soon as you get there.
Yep.
I
Consistency.
would love to piggyback on that and just say the best advice I've ever heard given was by a scout to a fledgling minor leaguer who was sort of kind of complaining, and the comment was as such: dominate the level you're at before you're concerned with what happens at the next level.
Amen.
I think that is incredible work advice, right? Be way too damn good for where you're standing before you're concerned with where your feet are going next.
Yep, definitely. With that said, would you rather, Governor, would you rather or not play this game? Just kidding.
I'm ready.
Not.
I know. What if he's like, I don't want to? Like, well, in that case. All right, so let me pull these things back up. Whoa, I lost my screen, sorry. All right. Would you rather have birthday cake with or without ice cream?
So it's bad enough that the icing has milk in it.
Oh, yeah. Just
So
kidding.
there's my answer right there.
Sorry.
Now I will do lactate ice cream, or
From
I'll do
you.
that.
You know what I love about those? Sorry. That the shelf life on Lactaid, the not
man.
milk,
Forever.
is so long. So I don't have to worry about like it
Nope.
spoiling. And that was amazing.
You're dead
Shout
on.
out to the X on that one. Would you rather be fed on an international flight or have entertainment? Meaning you wouldn't have one versus the other.
So the flight over I went from Atlanta straight to Tel Aviv, and I forgot how long it had been that I had actually been served food on a plane before. And but what I will say was that because it's a flight to Israel, everything was kosher. It was great. I'd never had a meal like that. Like, it was unbelievable. Now, I don't assume that will be the case anywhere else
Ours was not
outside of
kosher, I'll tell you that.
Qatar Airlines or Singapore Airlines. That's just a cut above. So I would have to be a little bit picky on that one.
So we had no.
I don't think he answered the question.
He didn't.
Yes, I would.
Do you want the food or do you want
want
your
the
TV to
food.
work?
The food.
I want the food. I can read a book.
Oh, no.
So I only asked that question because on our flight to Germany, we did not have any entertainment nor Wi-Fi. It was rough.
Yeah, there was no Wi-Fi on the flight either. So I ended up reading 2 books, watched 2 movies, and I ate. So I had it all.
Spoiled. Would you rather go to Costco or Sam's Club?
Costco or?
Sam's Club.
Oh, give me Costco.
Yes.
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 Their lemon bun
Good
cake is undefeated.
Their beef bulgogi is really good too in the ready-made section.
I'm gonna try that
Yeah,
next.
that one's really good. Would you rather, I already know this, but I'm setting you up. Would you rather eat tropical fruit or domestic USA fruit?
I'm sorry.
Really?
Oh,
I gotta make you
oh,
answer it, because if you answer it
Ah.
wrong, you're just gonna be ousted.
There
answer
is
it
no,
wrong.
there's nothing to say to that. Like, it's the fruits that I grew up with in my backyard alone. Come on, man.
Oh man, it's so rough. Like, especially with this international travel, I'm like, man, going back to the States and eating that the
Ugh,
stuff they call fruit. Ugh,
yeah.
ugh. Would you rather have a large dog or a mini yapping dog?
I'm gonna do the small dog. I'm not a dog person as it is, but yeah, I'm not chancing anything happening with it. No, not doing it. I've been bitten one too many times riding my bike in my neighborhood, stuff. No. Go ahead and bark, little dog. Yeah.
Gentlemen, those are my questions. It's your turn.
I got one for him since he is where he is doing what he's doing.
Yep.
Would you rather have free reign recruiting access at European under 20s or Jamaican champs?
European under 20s. And I have my reasons.
Sure you do. Would you rather be in charge of developing in the 100 meters in Barbados or the UK?
Oh, oh, wow. I gotta tell you, I mean, I will believe this till the day I die. What we're seeing represented on a yearly basis from the UK is not based on the amount of talent that's available. And you cannot tell me anything different. You know, and
I wonder why I asked you that question, huh? Because I knew how you felt about this.
no question. I would take the UK.
Okay. UK it is.
Okay. Well, since we all seem to be sort of kind of tuned into what the governor likes to do, which is recruit, I'm going to ask probably one of the more a-hole-ish questions I've ever asked you.
Oh gosh.
You can only recruit from one country for the remainder of your career. For your entire program. Like you're the head coach, you got to
Everything.
fill all the coffers. You can only listen, lasso guy. Shush. You can
I have a
only
question.
recruit. You can only recruit one country.
No, lasso guy.
What is it? And there's a caveat. If you choose the United States, you can only pick one state.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's what I was going to ask.
Oh. Well, now in the context of your question, okay, give me Jamaica all day, every day. The range, the size, the talent, like whether I can develop them, whether they're the finished product, come on, man. Give me that. I can teach him how to pole vault. No, you can't.
If he has to take a state in the United States, he's taking California. I'm calling it.
Well, I'd love to know what states you guys would take.
I'm taking Florida. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm gonna give you California, but I'm taking Florida.
Listen. We've done that question on the show. Everybody knows it's California, but Lucius is going to choose Florida for obvious reasons, just like you're going to choose Texas for obvious reasons.
I will
So,
choose Texas.
Well,
The answer
I'll
No
just say,
kid, no kid. What state are you picking?
if I
Cuba.
pick a country, I'm picking Cuba. And-
Oh boy! Wow. Okay.
And I'm picking Cuba because it's way underdeveloped and
Absolutely.
as talented as every place else and bigger.
Yes.
If I was gonna pick the United States, I mean it's a toss-up between the two, but I'm probably gonna take California.
Big
I'm,
league.
I'm
you
probably
take
gonna
Cali
take
too?
California because there's more finished products, there's more closer to the ends.
Okay.
True is taking Texas.
Would you take Texas too?
I don't know. Like, this is the thing that I'm realizing now is there is definitely talent in Texas, but it's not at the volume of California.
Mm.
And I'm gonna rescind
And-
my pick. I'm taking Ohio. I'm sorry.
No. God.
Ooh, and I can't, yeah,
Gotta
I
go with my
can't decline
homeboys.
that. I mean,
Gotta go with my homeboy.
we picked up a couple good ones up there too, so.
Love Florida, but I'm an Ohio guy.
There
If
you
I don't
go.
pick Ohio, then people like Tiana might kick me out of the OHIO club. So I'm taking Ohio. I'm taking Ohio. I don't need my phone ringing. Hey, so you don't like
Hey,
the
hey,
Ohioans
dude.
anymore?
That's
And then
funny.
if I had to pick a country, I think I'm taking Great Britain. I'm taking the UK.
Whoa.
Bad pick.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
bad.
taking the UK for a lot of the reasons that the governor and I have discussed.
Yes.
Yeah, that the
Yeah.
talent there is very untapped.
Absolutely.
Very untapped.
I mean, that's the primary reason I chose Cuba. Right.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
we only know about the famous ones, right?
Mhm.
There's a ton of medalists running around in Cuba that we don't know,
right. And you will never know.
and we'll never know.
Yeah.
All right, wrapping it up. Heartbeat props. Shout outs for those who need them to hear them. Clyde, go ahead.
Mine is clean, simple, and obvious. Like I said, we just got back from U20s, and my heartbeat props go out to our freshman Cameron Tarver. This kid has had an incredibly long but incredibly successful year. When we brought Cam in, he was not our top-rated recruit, but has earned himself the distinction of our team MVP. He scored a total of 34 points for our team between the indoor and outdoor Mountain West championships. He broke a historical speed city record indoors, running or setting the standard for our program indoors in the 200 meters. He made Team USA, and he represented us extremely well out there in Puerto Rico. Cam has proven all year that he's a racer. And that's a very interesting and important distinction in our sport. Case in point, he came into the US championships in the 100 meters ranked number 14, finished fourth, and ultimately made the team. He came into U20s ranked 14th, finished fourth in the 100-meter dash. I know he is right now not happy with his performance at U20s, but he absolutely should be. He had a very brutal week. He ran 5 races, finished fourth in the 100, finished fourth in the 200, so missed the podium just barely, and then ran a brilliant leg leading off the men's 4x1, putting them in first place, only to have Team USA run out of the zone later in the race, be disqualified. They did win the race, though. So he returned with no medals, but he has spent his year. He got a lot of knowledge. He got a lot of experience, and I really couldn't be more prouder of that kid and how he represents us. He's the best of our men's team, and he has earned everything that he's gotten. So bravo, sir. And now San Jose State has officially ended our season.
I want to give heartbeat props to the athletes that are returning to our campus starting in the next couple days. I cannot believe the summer has gone by this quickly. For the kids that had breakout years, here's to building on what you did in the 2023 season. For the newcomers, and there are a lot of them, patience, and let's see what we can we can build for 2024. I'm excited. And hopefully I can get some sleep between now and the 21st when school starts.
Whew.
Who does that leave?
And
Me and you?
boy, no. So
The two of you and
Oh.
Sir Lucius.
He
All right. Well,
does this
I'll-
on purpose. He knows I have to go.
No.
That's okay.
Well,
It's okay.
I mean, you know, you've been so silent tonight. But I actually would go. I don't want to go last. Because I don't want to make this all about this, but I can't sit silent. That's the whole point of us having a show, is to bring things to light that are injustices. Look, I'm gonna just call it what it is. My name tonight is No Kit because I found out 36 hours or so ago that a young man that Coach Chu and I are blessed to coach, who has, you know, killed himself to represent his country at the highest of levels, has now been told that neither he nor any of his teammates that have qualified for world championships are getting new kit for world championships. This is now 2 world championships. I've also obviously 2 years in a row. And to have a federation, because as everybody knows at this point, for the last month, I have been railing on federations and what do federations actually do. To have a federation drop the ball for 3 athletes, it is a 3-athlete team. To have a federation drop the ball for the 2nd global championship in a row and have these young men wearing uniforms, they declared uniforms from 2019, because you can't wear the Olympic rings in a world championship. It's just deplorable and it's unacceptable. And any excuse that anybody would ever give me is absolutely and positively wrong from the pit of hell. So at the end of the day, you know, the young man that we coach has his uniform. He's going to go compete, and it's not going to stop him from getting the medal. I just want to advocate for he and anybody else who asks so little of their federation and get even less.
I've lived that life, so I know 100%. And the fact of the matter that we are in the 21st century and this is still happening, it's a travesty. That's all I got to say.
My heartbeat props are to all the athletes, coaches, trainers, administrators that will be ascending upon Budapest next week. Let's prepare ourselves for an exciting time and an exciting championships, and looking forward to you know, a week from now when we all get together to make some predictions, and we're all going to pray for Chu that she makes better choices this time around.
Not a chance.
Look, did you see my face? I was like, oh crap.
Not a
See,
chance.
she forgot we got to do this next week. So I can't tell you, and this is just not about the group of young people that I coach that are going to be there. I just got the sense, I have the sense this is going to be one of championships for the ages, and I cannot wait to see it. And Budapest is a phenomenal place, and I know they're going to do a phenomenal job of hosting, so I'm looking forward to it.
Are we all going to be there?
Everybody but
Governor, are you going
the
to be there?
governor.
Ah,
Yeah, I won't be there.
damn it. Well,
Maybe we can do a 2-screen. Maybe we can do a 2-screen show. The 4 of us in one spot and the governor on the other screen.
there you go.
There you go.
At least that'll be sort of cool. It'll be different.
My heartbeat props go out to the families who are preparing to ship their babies out for their collegiate experiences for their first year. In having helped some of those families ease that anxiety by receiving their said children, and hope promising to keep them safe. And then in myself realizing that I'm getting ready to do that next year, not this year. So I will be crying next year, not this year. It's a special time because this is when, you know, you start to relinquish some of that, I don't know, fear, enjoyment, excitement,
Rope.
all in the right. So for all of you who are getting ready to send your children elsewhere, as coaches, we promise that we are doing what's best for your children, and we are here to support you, but we are also there to help mold your tiny adult human beings. So, oof,
Yeah, at some point we will put them out in deep water.
yeah. But be ready to save them as well. So with that said, we'll put all of you out in that deep water, put you on the rope for world championships for next year. And other than that, everyone have a safe week. Enjoy yourselves. The time is ticking. That what said freedom we do have is very seldom at this point. So get ready to get back in coaching mode. See you all soon. Talk to you later. Bye.